A few days passed and the princess continued searching for the fallen hero, Fleo, roaming the village for clues but found nothing. Meanwhile, Haya had settled into the cottage and prepared breakfast. The others were surprised to learn she could cook, but Haya explained she could make food appear with magic. Rhys warned her not to use magic if she wanted Fleo to eat it. So, Haya made the meal with her hands, claiming to enjoy it and offering to do it daily. Rhys said cooking and packing food was her job, suggesting Haya help with the cleaning. Haya eagerly agreed, making the others realize they might become unnecessary if she took over cleaning too. After breakfast, Muscle Mommy headed to the field to plow, determined to prove her worth. The rabbit helped by transforming into a monster and digging into the earth. Meanwhile, the redhead archer tended to the horses in the stables. Though she had hoped to be a coachman, she enjoyed her job, especially as one horse licked her face and another licked her backside, sending a shudder of excitement through her. Suddenly, a dark cloud covered the area, followed by strong winds. People began to panic as a magic circle formed and a giant monster and a witch emerged. The commotion scared the townspeople into a frenzy and the princess, nearby, was surrounded by her guards. The witch noticed her and the monster knocked the guards away. Fleo rushed out to protect Rhys as she explained that a monster had emerged from the circle while they sought shelter. Haya soon arrived, sensing dark energy, and warned them that the monster was a human transformed into a beast by the witch Damalinas. She explained that Damalinas had been one of the strongest witches, using dark magic to conquer a vast territory. A legendary hero had eventually defeated her, but her spirit was so powerful that it had been sealed in the pedestal where the sword was kept, where Haya was also sealed. Haya turned to Fleo, asking permission to destroy the witch who was wreaking havoc in the town. Fleo agreed and told Rhys they should evacuate the townspeople to prevent further harm. Damalinas had the princess trapped, with only one brave knight standing between them, trying to be the hero while protecting the future queen. Then, out of nowhere, an explosion rocked the monster, and some unexpected force smacked the witch upside the head. To her surprise, Haya, that annoying djinn, appeared in front of the princess. Damalinas, pissed off as hell, mocked Haya, calling her a failure for not getting the job done. With a scoff, she flew into the air and cast a deadly spell to finish Haya, but to her horror, Haya barely even blinked, effortlessly blocking the attack with one damn arm. In a fit of rage, Damalinas sent the monster crashing toward Haya while throwing a barrage of dark magical lances her way. Haya didn't flinch. She blocked the attacks like she was swatting flies and blasted the damn monster back into the ground like it was nothing. Landing hard, Damalinas lost it. She ripped the earth apart with one of her most destructive spells, draining dark energy from the ground to pump up her monster, making it grow into an even bigger, uglier nightmare. The princess watched, horrified, as the beast lumbered closer. But just as it got near, the magic circle holding it together shattered, and like a pathetic loser, the monster shrank back to its original size. Haya, not giving a single shit about the creature, turned her fury on the witch. With one smooth motion, she ripped the spirit from Damalinas' servant, turning it into a tiny ball that she swallowed whole. As if eating some garbage, she vowed to deal with the witch properly once this whole mess was over. After the battle, the princess sprinted toward Fleo, practically begging him to be the hero her father screwed over. She introduced herself as Princess Liz and explained how she had kicked the last hero to the curb because he was a joke, lazy, incompetent, and a straight-up idiot. She asked Fleo to take the hero spot, saying the kingdom needed someone strong and willing to fight to the damn end. Fleo, looking like he couldn't care less, thanked her for the offer but flat out told her the kingdom needed someone who'd actually give a shit and fight for humanity, not some washed-up loner who'd hesitate at the first sign of danger. They returned to the cottage where the girls eagerly awaited Fleo's arrival. They revealed they planned to buy nearby land and expand their property to start a business, asking for his approval. Fleo agreed, smiling, and promised to negotiate with the Lord. The next day the land was purchased and they began working on it. Fleo and Rhys stood together as the sun set and Fleo took out a ring made from a rare gemstone. He placed it on Rhys's finger, calling it a wedding ring. Overjoyed, Rhys hugged him tightly, excited for the adventures ahead. A couple of days passed and one night Balarasa had a nightmare. She woke up on an altar, dressed in black, surrounded by unfamiliar darkness. Confused, she saw Eulimenas appear and welcome her to the castle. Balarasa was terrified of finding a demon general and asked where she was. Eulimenas calmly replied that Balarasa was the bride-to-be for a royal wedding. Before she could process this, the demon lord stepped from the shadows, professing his love for her and approaching in a groom's dress. Balarasa was horrified but he told her she looked beautiful and lucky to marry him. Eulimenas then announced that Gol planned to conquer the world as a wedding gift and start anew with him as king and her as queen. Balarasa protested but the demon lord insisted it was too late and tried to kiss her. That's when she woke up drenched in sweat on the cold night. Confused, she realized she liked the dream but the other girls told her to be quiet and go back to sleep. Balarasa and Rhys prepared breakfast the following day but Balarasa looked exhausted and moved slowly. Rhys asked if everything was okay and Balarasa admitted admitted she was sleep-deprived from the nightmares. Assuming Balarasa was in love, Riss shocked her by claiming that demon wolves dream about the person they love, even if they don't know it, making the dream seem like nightmares. Balarasa was too embarrassed to deny it. Balarasa felt embarrassed but confused as Riss repeated that she must be in love. The other girls rushed into the kitchen, eager to know who it was. Balarasa, red-faced, denied being in love with anyone, claiming it was just a stupid dream. The girls weren't convinced and started guessing who she might like, eventually concluding it must be the Demon King. Balarasa quickly denied it, insisting she didn't want him and besides, he probably hated her for being human. However, the girls remembered how often he visited to spend time with her, which was obvious to everyone. Balarasa denied it again, claiming he only came to meet Fleo and was probably plotting to kill her when her guard was down. The girls, however, had already decided on their story. Muscle Mommy suggested Balarasa steal the Demon King's heart entirely so she could live alongside him, just like Riss and Fleo were together despite being from different races. Suddenly, Jin asked Riss how and why she fell in love with Fleo. She explained that there wasn't one specific moment but that he was kind, seen as a weakness among monsters, yet he was strong and easily defeated her. His kindness and strength made her fall in love. Fleo overheard this and he and Riss got embarrassed while his party was busy elsewhere without care. Meanwhile, the princess and the royals were anxious, unsure how to handle the demon army. A minister then informed the princess that the gold Fleo had given them for the city's reconstruction was special. Golden coins only given to heroes. The princess suddenly realized that Fleo must have been the first hero summoned to this world, but because his stats were too low, he was kicked out with just some gold. After being discarded, the princess realized that Fleo must have changed his name and appearance, understanding now why he refused to take the hero's position. She felt embarrassed about how they had treated him when he was first summoned. Suddenly, a guard burst into the court, reporting that the disgraced hero and his big-thighed servant had escaped prison and fled. The princess ordered the guards to prepare a search while she figured out how to handle the situation with the Demon King. Meanwhile, Fleo and his servant hid in the bushes as the guards searched for them. The servant complained her legs were tired and that they were now fugitives and robbers after Fleo stole treasure from the royal treasury. Fleo insisted it was owed to him, as he had been promised unimaginable gold, but he only found a magic bag before escaping. When he opened it expecting gold, he saw an old shovel. The guards approached but they didn't spot them. Unbeknownst to them, the shovel was a royal treasure that could dig holes quickly. Fleo wondered how they would escape. At the Demon King's castle, Eulymenas reported that they hadn't found Fleo and his party yet. Instead, she suggested focusing on the invasion as they were close to destroying the royal kingdom. She argued that, though the land had been purified, the castle had exhausted its best mages and could not spare any. They should push forward with their army to take the capital. While this would cost some demons their lives, their sacrifice would weaken their defenses. Gol insisted they continue searching for Fleo, as he could not leave the kingdom and must be nearby. He alone could use purification magic if necessary. Eulymenas, however, questioned the value of the search. The demon lord stood up, walked to her and patted her head, claiming she was trying to avoid sacrificing more of his army. A strange woman overheard everything and reported to Gozel's brother, Uegard. Furious, Uegard slammed his hand on the table, causing the woman to fall. He angrily claimed his brother was growing soft and called his decision to enlist a human in their army a disgrace. He smashed his seat again, sending a rock flying that struck the woman, leaving her bleeding. Uegard stood up and declared it was time for a new king, vowing to take the throne from his brother and lead the demon army to victory. Meanwhile, Fleo and Riss were at the market, buying ingredients for a dish she wanted to make. Fleo was in a good mood and asked if she wanted to have lunch together, brightening Riss's mood as she took his arm. As they walked, they came across a shop owned by an old lady who was closing down. She explained that she couldn't find suppliers anymore as the war had reached the nearby villages, leaving the area in ruins. Fleo and Riss were saddened, realizing there was no escaping the war. Fleo admired human resilience as they continued walking, noting that more shops were opening despite the challenges. Just as they were about to enter a restaurant, Balarasa ran up to them, eager to treat them to lunch after ranking up in the Adventurers Guild thanks to their training. Fleo was happy but Riss was disappointed as she wanted alone time with him. They headed inside to celebrate when Haya suddenly appeared, sensing a powerful demon nearby and suggesting they leave. To their surprise, Gol himself greeted them warmly. They all sat down at the lunch table, with Balarasa feeling uneasy as Gozel commented on how pretty she looked today. Gozel told Fleo that he often came here to gather information about humans because he enjoyed their food. Balarasa, triggered by his words, asked if he was here to gather intel so he could destroy humans, and Gozel honestly replied that he was. This angered her but Fleo calmed her down. Gozel then claimed that humans and demons couldn't coexist because they were too affected by each other. Haya explained that lower-level demons emitted dark mana that poisoned the air for humans, making it unlivable for them. While higher-ranked demons like Riss and Gol could control it, many couldn't. She added that some demons were born with bloodlust, making peaceful coexistence even harder. After saying this, Gozel bid them goodbye and left while Banaza stared at her plate, confused by her emotions. After the meal, they met with the rest and returned as the sun set. Fleo reflected on how happy he had been to learn that demi-humans weren't treated as enslaved people in this world, but realized that not everything could be perfect. Overcome with fear, he hugged Rhys from behind, telling her how much he loved her. The fear grew as he realized he might be forced to choose a side in the war sooner than anticipated. The next day, Rhys cooked up some delicious meat patties, and everyone agreed they were better than anything they'd ever tasted at a restaurant. Just as they were enjoying the meal, the princess and her guards arrived, catching them off guard. Fleo, already a bit annoyed, asked why she was there since he had already turned down her offer to become a hero. The princess apologized for summoning him, for discarding him afterward, and for all the chaos she had caused. She then revealed a secret that shocked everyone. Fleo, still skeptical, led the princess inside, and Banaza eagerly served tea, trying to make her feel welcome. The princess thanked her, but then asked the girls to leave so she could speak with Fleo alone. Rhys protested, but Fleo quickly insisted that his wife would stay. If the princess couldn't talk in front of Rhys, she could just leave and go back to the palace. Rhys felt a small surge of pride, but her focus remained sharp. The princess, though clearly annoyed, agreed, and then knelt before Fleo, apologizing for the spells on his bag and for banishing him to the forest. Fleo just shrugged and told her to speak to Rhys instead, making it clear that he wasn't a hero but a merchant now. The princess, looking a bit frustrated, asked if he wouldn't accept her apology, but Fleo bluntly said it wouldn't change a damn thing and urged her to get to the point. She reluctantly placed a magical map on the table, revealing the demon army's location. The princess explained that the purification spell around the castle was weakening, and the demon army was about to strengthen their assault. Their mages hadn't fully recovered, and they didn't have enough troops to defend all the towns. She planned to station forces strategically, leaving many towns unguarded, and she wanted Fleo to help protect them. Fleo was silent, trying to process what she was asking. Rhys, however, was furious. She shot the princess a look that could kill and questioned her audacity to involve Fleo in a war when he hated violence. The princess, unfazed, warned that once the king recovered, he would likely accuse them of working with demons and send an army after them. Rhys snapped back, asking if the princess was threatening them, but the princess quickly clarified, saying she wanted the opposite. As a temporary ruler, she could bring the former king to justice for disrespecting Fleo and for appointing the fake hero. What she really wanted was Fleo's help in removing the king and proving she could lead the army far better. Rhys protested, but Fleo stopped her, realizing the princess's true plan. He explained it to Rhys step by step. The princess had shown him the troop locations because she trusted him. She wanted him to keep the information secret to prove he wasn't siding with the demons. He confirmed this and asked again for Fleo's help. The former hero and his large servant hid behind bushes on the run. The girl started crying from hunger and the former hero gave her some cookies. He asked why she was still following him and she wondered the same, knowing she was just a burden. He was embarrassed by her honesty, but she reassured him, saying he had been calm when he broke them out of prison. She praised him and he blushed. They prepared to move on when a black spider suddenly tied her up with a web. Before he could help, the spider also trapped him. A demon mommy appeared, excited to find new specimens for her experiment, terrifying them both. He lay in bed at Fleo's home, discussing his conversation with the princess. Rhys noticed he was lost in thought and sat beside him. Fleo admitted that while he hated fighting, he couldn't stand the idea of unprotected towns. He discussed his dream of a future where humans and demons live peacefully together. Confident in him, Rhys promised to help make that impossible dream come true. He smiled and thanked her. The demon army attacked, causing people to flee. A girl, left behind in the forest, feared for her life as demons approached. Just as one was about to strike, Fleo arrived, riding Rhys and wearing a wolf mask. Rhys knocked the demon away and Fleo cast a barrier spell to protect them. He told the girl to run and she obeyed. Rhys was upset that Fleo had agreed to the princess's request without asking for compensation, but Fleo explained that he hadn't wanted rumors spreading that he was after money. Fleo joked that agreeing to the princess's request meant he lost the battle of wits. This worried Rhys. As a man failing, a woman had to become her husband in her culture. Fleo reassured her, but the demons demanded to know why a demon wolf was aiding humans. Fleo explained they were the town's protectors and warned the demons to retreat. The demons mocked him, but Rhys reminded them they couldn't break his barrier. The demon boss, a giant red cyclops, arrived. Rhys warned Fleo that the Cyclops clan was among the strongest, serving the demon lord's brother. The Cyclops taunted Rhys, mentioning her brother's death, enraging her. She vowed to reclaim her clan's honor and told Fleo she'd handle him. Fleo agreed, asking her not to kill the demons. She promised and exited the barrier. The Cyclops swung his massive club, destroying trees, but Rhys easily dodged. She landed quick blows, wearing him down. The Cyclops mocked her, but she replied that she would have already torn him apart if she were her old self. She credited Fleo for helping her control her power. Riss leaped, switching places with the Cyclops. He threw his club at her as he fell, but it was a mistake. She changed their positions again and his club struck the Cyclops. Riss floated 4 trees with her magic and used gravity to speed them toward the Cyclops, preparing to finish him off. Riss nailed the Cyclops to the ground and the Cyclops ordered his minions to attack. Fleo quickly restrained them with magic and healed the Cyclops, explaining it was so they could leave peacefully. He then intimidated the demons with a lightning spell, forcing them to retreat. With the danger gone, Fleo dispelled the barrier. Riss praised their training, though Riss suggested being more brutal would have been more effective. Fleo agreed but said it would fuel hatred between humans and demons. The townspeople thanked Fleo, though they were wary of Riss. He assured them she was his partner and they should thank the princess. Fleo and Riss moved on to the next town. The princess heard of Fleo's deeds and felt grateful, wanting to repay him. Meanwhile, the demon lord was angered by his brother Uegard's actions and learned that Uegard had staged a coup. In the throne room, Uegard prepared to use 2 kidnapped humans in a ritual that would grant him the power to defeat Gol and take the throne. The next day, Fleo was hit with a total curveball when Gol and Eulimenes showed up at his door. They didn't even knock, just waltzed in like they owned the damn place. They plopped down at the table, acting like it was just another casual visit. Fleo, still half asleep, couldn't believe his eyes. Eulimenes was obviously pissed, her face dark as hell, while Gol just grinned like a damn cat. Out of nowhere, Gol dropped the bomb. He needed a favor. Fleo was stunned, his brain barely processing the words. What the hell could Gol, the Demon King, possibly want from him? Then Gol hit him with it. He needed a place to crash. Fleo almost choked on his own spit. Riss, not taking any of this seriously, laughed out loud like it was some kind of sick joke. Eulimenes, though, wasn't having it. She shot a glare at Riss like she was about to tear her head off. Gol calmed her down, not even fazed. He casually dropped the fact that his younger brother, Uegard, had pulled off a coup while he was gone. Gol was quick to claim he had nothing to do with the demon attacks that were making everyone's life hell. Before he could even think of heading back to his castle, Eulimenes had caught wind of it and scrambled to get help from the Eternal 4 demons. She wanted them to back her up in taking down Uegard, but those assholes stayed out of it, playing neutral like a bunch of spineless wimps. Then, to top it all off, Goth Mamie, that power-hungry bitch, rolled up and told everyone Gol had gotten too soft on humans. She said he wasn't fit to rule anymore, just because he'd been spending too much time hanging with people who weren't demons. Defeated, Eulimenes turned to the 2-headed phoenix demon, trying to guilt him by mentioning that Gol had raised him. The bird replied that succession was for the strong and Gol had failed to make tough decisions, stalling the war. She then questioned the centaur's loyalty, demanding he imprison those behind the coup. The centaur calmly replied that while he believed the throne belonged to Gol, this revolt allowed Gol to prove his strength, so he remained neutral. Eulimenes, feeling defeated, followed them into the throne room where Uegard sat on the throne with Goth Mamie, who claimed him as the new demon king. Eulimenes argued with Goth Mamie, but the demon mocked her, prompting Eulimenes to attack Uegard. Her claws broke on his body and Uegard knocked her away, saying he didn't need weaklings. Fufin moved to finish her off, but Gol shielded her, ordering his underling to carry her. Uegard challenged Gol for the throne, accusing him of being suspicious. Gol responded, calling Uegard's actions childish. Fufin added that Gol could have conquered human lands but always backed down, refusing to shed innocent blood. Gol had spent more time among humans, enjoying their lifestyle, making him unworthy as a demon. He turned to his Eternal 4 demons, asking if they believed this, but they remained silent. Gol powered up and Uegard prepared to fight. The Eternal 4, sensing Gol's strength, got excited. Fufin considered sacrificing the fake hero to gain more power, but to everyone's surprise, Gol removed the Demon King's ring and threw it to Uegard, relinquishing his claim to the throne. This confused everyone and Uegard became angry because he thought he was being mocked. Gol explained there was no point in fighting for the throne when his underlings distrusted him and walked away. Uegard, still furious, attacked but was swiftly kicked by Gol, breaking through walls and being thrown out of the castle. Gol told him it was for what he had done to Eulimenes. Fufin chased after Uegard while the Eternal 4 stood stunned. Gol then finished his story, stating he couldn't stay in either demon or human territory, but Fleo was his only friend. Fleo, doubtful, said he needed to consult his housemates. Later he gathered the girls and told them everything and they were shocked. Muscle Mamie asked about the recent Demon King army attacks and Gol denied involvement, claiming he had ordered his troops to stand by. The witch, still fearful, asked if he would return for tea and breakfast and Gol assured them they had no reason to fear him anymore as he was neither the Demon King nor part of their army. The group relaxed, but she complained about Gol giving away money to the army's intelligence. Gol defended it, saying their work had been crucial. He admitted taking the throne from his father but had no regrets. He was glad they could now do other things, like Fleo's disguised defense of the town. Fleo asked the others if they were okay with Gol staying. Everyone agreed, though Balarasa hesitated. Riss convinced her, saying he wasn't the Demon King anymore. Gol moved in but struggled to find something to do. He offered to help Muscle Mamie but she refused. He tried with the demon horses but they were scared and the redhead asked him to leave. At the workshop he enjoyed talking and admiring the armor. Later, around a bonfire, Balarasa stayed distant. That night, unable to sleep, Balarasa watched the moon. Riss and Fleo offered tea and snacks. Riss apologized for manipulating her but Balarasa said it was okay. Fleo expressed his happiness with their life together but Balarasa felt unfit to live there, thinking she had nothing to offer. Despite knowing Gol wouldn't harm humans and that he was no longer the Demon King, Balarasa struggled to accept living with demons. She remembered the horrors knights had faced, mourning their lost loved ones. Fleo reassured her that she didn't have to get along with them and that Gol's true reason for staying was fear of Uegard's retaliation. Riss comforted Balarasa, saying she wasn't useless and reminding her that Balarasa had taught her to make cookies. The following day, Balarasa told the demons she would stay with them but keep a watchful eye. If they hurt anyone, she would never forgive them. Gol laughed and Eulimenas mocked her for once, fearing Gol. Balarasa retorted that Eulimenas had lost to Fleo twice. Gol extended a handshake but Balarasa refused, saying she would do it when she trusted him and then headed out for the day's hunt. In the Demon Lord's castle, Uegard summoned the generals to address their failures. Fufin reported that traps had been blocking the army, angering Uegard, who sensed she was hiding something. He ordered an assault based on their numbers, striking Fufin when she mentioned their lack of soldiers. After he left, the Phoenix noted their leader's poor strategy, recalling Gol's plans and the missing intelligence unit. The Centaur warned that morale was dropping. Fufin suggested a meet and greet to boost spirits. Riss had won a hot springs trip lottery in human territory and celebrated, thinking it was romantic. The shopkeeper clarified that it was a family voucher for 15. Riss asked if she could exchange it. Fleo and Riss brought the whole group to the hot springs, frustrating Riss, who had wanted privacy for their first trip. Fleo saw it as a chance to introduce everyone to Gol and Eulimenas. Behind them, the girls discussed the town's 7 hot springs, each with unique properties like revitalization, magic recovery, and enhanced fertility. Hearing fertility, Riss imagined naming her and Fleo's child, grabbed his hand and hurried ahead. At the inn, the staff warmly greeted them and provided robes. While others settled in, Riss secretly asked a staff member about the fertility-enhancing spring. The staff member gave her a map and wished her luck. Meanwhile, Muscle Mommy accidentally bumped into a furious Uegard. Fufin intervened, calming Uegard and reminding him they were there to boost morale and bond after recent defeats. Reluctantly, he agreed not to cause a scene. The demon generals, disguised as humans and other races, were also present, wearing necklaces to suppress their poisonous gas. Gol, Riss and Eulimenas spotted the demon army. Gol wanted to greet them but Riss firmly warned him and Eulimenas to stay hidden. She declared that any meeting with Uegard would spell disaster and vowed not to let anyone ruin her hot springs trip with Fleo. Everyone settled into their room but Riss pulled Fleo aside, declaring they'd stay in a separate room. Blushing, Fleo agreed and told Gol to find his room as the girls had their plans. Riss excitedly told Fleo they were visiting the fertility hot spring. When Haya tried to join, Riss silenced her with a death glare, declaring it was finally her baby-making date with Fleo. Grabbing his hand, she rushed off, leaving Haya to ponder. Retreating into her psyche, Haya confronted the witch Damalinas, tying her up playfully. Haya, curious about the mating process, proposed practicing with Damalinas. Flustered, Damalinas protested, reminding her about consent and eventually ejected Haya from her psyche, leaving her with a lesson. Meanwhile, Riss and Fleo reached the fertility hot spring. Riss attempted to pull Fleo into the women's bath but settled for the gender-separated baths. While relaxing, Fleo heard Riss knocking on the bamboo wall separating them. They chatted and Fleo suggested a private trip for them, calling it their honeymoon. Delighted, Riss started teasing him with flirtatious talk. Fleo, flustered and stirred, bolted from the hot spring. Meanwhile, Archer sneaked off to explore physical pleasure but unexpectedly ran into Haya, who declared she was there to win over her partner. Before Archer could react, Haya pushed her into a room, the door closed and soft moans escaped within seconds. Elsewhere, the girls were enjoying food and drinks while Balarasa kept a watchful eye on Gol. Muscle Mommy teased her about liking him but Balarasa insisted she ensured he didn't cause trouble. Gol, oblivious, commented on how relaxing the place was and complimented Balarasa, making her blush. Eulimenas appeared jealous as Gol accepted Muscle Mommy's offer to drink with her. Meanwhile, Uegard and his demon officers enjoyed their meal. Fufin tried to lighten the mood by performing TikTok dances but unimpressed, Uegard punched her away. Two demons attempted a comedic fight but it escalated when one's necklace fell off, releasing poisonous gas. At the same time, the disgraced former hero and his servant arrived at the hot springs after fleeing the demon realm. Exhausted and hungry, the girls scolded the hero for becoming a thief after stealing jewels from the demons. He defended himself, claiming they deserved it after risking their lives. Suddenly, the poisonous gas drifted toward the magic gemstone he was holding. The gemstone reacted, causing an explosion. One of the fighting demons appeared, furious at his partner for escalating their mock fight. Poisonous gas spread as he used a powerful spell. Fufin intervened, and the former hero's servant recognized the goth mommy who had kidnapped them, realizing they were demons. Amid the chaos, the gemstone absorbed the gas and attached itself to the hero's chest. Screaming in pain, he absorbed more gas before collapsing. Moments later, he transformed into a massive demonic monster, leaving everyone stunned. Balarasa pulled Eulimenas aside, asking if she wanted Gol to be the demon lord again. Eulimenas agreed, believing no other demon was as strong or noble. Balarasa then asked if Eulimenas loved him, but a giant monster attacked the inn before she could respond. Fleo stopped falling boulders with his powers and asked Rhys to check the situation. She ran out, but Fleo panicked when she wasn't dressed. Gol explained that the monster had been caused by poisonous gas from demons, and Eulimenas suspected Uegard and his officers were behind it. She used her magic eye to find a gemstone that made the gas more dangerous. Balarasa wanted to help but was stopped by Gol, who believed Fleo could handle it. Balarasa insisted on helping, and Gol smiled at their boldness. He teleported them closer to the monster and said he was just an ordinary person fighting to protect his vacation. Rhys arrived, furious at the disruption, and Uegard confronted Gol. He shattered his necklace and absorbed the poisonous gas to strengthen himself for their fight. The girls were watching from below, eyes wide as shit, trying to make sense of what was going down. Balarasa decided to break it down for them. Uegard had taken control of the Militium, trying to use it to land a punch on Gol. The bastard tried to control the hero, but Gol wasn't some pushover. He might have been trying to keep things calm, but he wasn't about to go down without a fight. Balarasa was like, "Alright, I'm out," and dashed back to Fu to fill him in on Uegard's little stunt. But since Gol was handling it like a champ, Fu decided to just stick to protecting the damn building. Gol gritted his teeth, grumbling about how Uark's control over the Militium was a real pain in the ass, but he was still dodging every one of Uegard's hits. Meanwhile, inside that freaking gem, the hero was stuck like some damn puppet. Rhys, absolutely done with this shit, teleported in and punched the hero so hard the gem cracked. Suya went tumbling down, but Gol caught her without batting an eye, using his magic and keeping his word about not hurting humans. He told Uegard to get the hell back, but Uegard was too far gone. He snarled that demons do whatever the hell they want and Gol could suck it. They kept fighting, but Gol was dodging Uegard's every move like it was nothing. Eulimenas asked the other demons what the hell they were even doing, and they were all like, "We're just here for the hot spring, don't get us involved in your bullshit." Typical demon behavior. Gol wasn't even sweating. He blocked another attack and used his reflection magic to shoot it right back at Uegard. Uegard was pissed, but he knew he had to hit Gol to get him to reflect the damn thing. So he went all out and nailed Gol in the face with full force, talking shit about how Gol had turned weak from playing nice with humans. Uegard smashed Gol's head, thinking he'd won, but Gol wasn't done yet. He grabbed Uegard and used a technique that drained the bastard's power like a damn vacuum. Uegard's face twisted in confusion, like what the hell just happened. Gol smirked and explained that he'd perfected this technique to take down the last demon lord, and it was a bitch for demons like Uegard. He'd basically shut off Uegard's mesum, the source of his power, and now the guy couldn't do shit. The hot spring owner wasn't having any of this either. She rolled in, talismans glowing, with her staff in hand. Her employees backed her up, blasting beams of light, restraining Uegard and the other demons like they were nothing. The owner told them they'd caused enough damn trouble and needed to scram. She made sure to get that last word in, sending their asses packing. Meanwhile, Rhys was still laying into the hero, not giving a single fuck about him. She was getting the EM out of his body, just taking out all her frustration. After that, Fleo used his time magic to fix the building, and the crew pitched in to help get everything back to normal. They saw the hero try to run off with his damn shovel, but in classic idiot fashion he ended up crashing into the hot spring. Fleo was glad everything was cool now, and the owner thanked them for their help, making sure to add that the hot spring was still open for business. Everyone took a deep breath and finally went back to enjoying the damn hot spring. Fleo and Gol talked, and Fleo admitted he found Gol interesting because he didn't use his great power for himself but to keep peace between humans and demons. Fleo thought relying on magic alone wasn't enough, and Gol wondered how they could achieve peace. Fleo wasn't sure but believed that by finding friends he could trust, he could do what he could with their help. Gol promised to help him as a friend. They all had dinner together, and Rhys got a special dish the attendant said would give her more energy for the night. Eulimenas enjoyed the fish, and Balarasa thanked Gol for protecting them. They all continued enjoying themselves, and by the end of the night, Fleo and Rhys finally had some time alone. He asked how she viewed humans now, and she said she wasn't sure but didn't see them as enemies anymore. she had even grown to like them. She asked why he was asking, and he said he thought the conflict between humans and demons would get worse, so he wanted to keep protecting the towns and prevent casualties. He asked for her help, saying he'd be on the right path if she were by his side. She promised to follow him anywhere, reminding him she was his wife and wanted the world to be safe for their children. They spent the night together, and Riss seemed in a great mood the next day. The girls realized what had happened, and Haya was disappointed she missed it. They all headed back and later saw the hero was still wanted but swore he would return. Everyone did their part for the house, and Gol reflected on how he had come to the world alone but was glad he had been summoned because it allowed him to make so many friends and meet Riss.